accreditors actually made us, between the time I graduated and the time I came back, the accreditors actually made us lower our standards and somewhat to lessen the workload.
Huh.
So that's a true story. So yeah, all you guys since whenever they did that, you're all a bunch of sissies. We had to, I think Christian Mind was like 10 hours or something. I don't know what it was. It was,
Oh my gosh.
it was, I think it might've been 5 hours. Anyway, we met a lot. I had a lot of, I had John Frame for Christian Mind. So we spent a lot of time with Professor Frame. And it was great. I mean, listening to Meredith Kline was kind of a revelation. I had some really good profs in college at the University of Nebraska,
Yeah.
a few out of the many, and some really good classes. But Klein was, an amazing lecturer.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard. Yep.
Extraordinarily gifted, and whatever people think of his conclusions on various topics, he was extraordinarily well read. And learned, and really in his own way. It was a different time, a different place. Professors didn't have to put up with as much nonsense as we have to put up with today. It didn't have to be quite as indulgent or as concerned about students' feelings as we do today. And so it was a lot of fun. Meredith would put up with a little, pushback from students. There was always a King James only guy who knew everything, couldn't be taught, and Meredith would tolerate that for a minute or two, and then he would make the student regret speaking up.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Meredith had three hums. He would start to make a case, and as he got partway through his case, he'd say, and as he got further through his case, he'd say, and then when he got to the end of his case, he would say, and then you were done.
Then you knew you're done.
By the time he got to the third, he knew that he had you cornered and you didn't have any way out.
I love it.
I remember one of my fondest memories, I guess, this just might sound strange, but was writing a final exam for Meredith on.
I've heard about these. Yeah.
On the role of Abraham
in
the history of redemption, how all of that was really where I began to think about Abraham as the paradigm for the covenant of grace.
Yep.
The unity of the covenant of grace was Meredith. But so seminary was a great experience. It was challenging. I had worked actually all through college, and so it took me 5 years to do 4. And I was behind as I came into my senior year. So I took 40 credits my senior year.
Whoa.
I got straight A's. I worked like a maniac. I was doing Homer. I was translating Homer and learning Latin and just taking a ton of credits. But Barbara taught me how to study, actually, and I had a prof that actually explained how to study, how to be successful. He said, spend 10 hours, memorize these formula, and you'll get an A.
Wow.
And that was sort of a breakthrough for me. And so I started doing that, and I started getting A's. So by the time I got to seminary, I was a little bit tired, and I should have.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Harder than I did, and I could have done better than I did. But I remember Bob Strimple, holding his Greek Testament in his left hand and a black marker for the overhead in his right hand, or on the chalkboard, a piece of chalk, diagramming a passage and explaining, what it implied and how it fit together with other passages. That's a strong memory. And Bob Godfrey, obviously, is a great storyteller.
Oh, yeah.
And it really fueled in me a love for church history. So that was the early days. That was my class was the first class that I think was full time on what is now our campus.
Yep.
Prior to that, they had been in an office building in San Marcos. So I'm not the oldest guy on the faculty, but I'm the guy who's been around campus the longest now, which is amazing because when I came, I was the kid. Now I'm the old guy.